Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today I will be doing a review of the current world's smallest hexacopter, which is the Fayee FY805 Navigator. And as you can see, it might not look that small on camera. I know usually these things I see other people's videos of, and it's like, okay, it's pretty small, but when I get it in person, it's like, wow, that is small. It's like, wow, that is small. So just real quick, I'll make a comparison. This is the FY804, which is currently the world's smallest quad. And now these go by different brands, and but I actually think Fayee might have been one of the first ones, if not the first one. Actually, this is the Florian version, the FX10, the Fayee version of the FY804. So once again, there's just tons of brands, but I'm not sure how many rebrands of the Hex there are. But as you can see, it is quite a bit bigger than the quad, but obviously two more motors. I think this is quite impressive. And then if you take a look, this is the Cheerson CX10D, same size as the CX10, and this used to be, oh, look how small it is. And now look, the Hexacopter is the exact same size pretty much as the quad. So, oh, how times change. Okay, so getting into the Hex here, you pretty much get what's standard with these. You get a little USB charging cable. However, this one ends in a rather interesting sort of connector. As you can see here, the charging port sticks out the side here. That'll focus, and it's got a little bump on the top. So you put the edge that has the bump, you can see it there. You put that upwards, and that just slides over. Kind of like the Estes Proto X did. And it's on there fairly well, and it's not too inconvenient. And it's very unlikely that this will get damaged in a crash because the motors are both, or the frames both sticking out to cover that. And I believe you also get spare props, but I think I might have misplaced mine. I'm pretty sure you get spare props and maybe a screwdriver, but I can't seem to find mine. You get a little user manual here. It's not too bad. Half English, half Chinese. As usual, the most important thing is finding the transmitter diagram, as well as how to recalibrate. So, pretty simple there. And you get this simple box, which looks like they used for the FY804 and the 805. You can see there. And then here's your transmitter, and this is one of the cool parts of the Hex here. You can see it's got this little viewing window thing in the middle here, and if you push in this tab and pull that open, you can actually fit the Hex right in there. And if you look, there are 4 inner holes which fit the 804 style quad, so you can also carry that one in here, which is nice. They fit, the motors fit into there, and then you also have the 6 outer ones for the 805 here. So let me just put this in here. It's fairly easy. Just get it there, and then you do have to align your props so the lid does not hit them as much. So just bring the lid down slowly at first, so if any are out of line. And then that goes in there, and it's really stable. It's about the size, not the thickness obviously, of like an iPhone 6, so you can just slide it in your pocket if your pockets are thick enough, and you can just go on the go, and that's really protected in there. You can see I just hit that pretty hard, and then you can just take it out when you're ready to fly. And that's really, I think, a key feature of this, because just like the 804, these tiny motors in here, you can't even see them. They're just so fragile. If you can see the shafts, I've actually bent a shaft or two on a hard crash. So I've been able to bend them back good enough, but they're still a little bit bent, but it seems to still fly well enough. But I do say this is not a good beginner Hex. It's just too fragile, and it's just so small. But definitely be careful with this one, but it does look awesome. So if we turn it on here, you can take a look at the LEDs. Let me get that light off there, and we'll take a look while the camera readjusts. It's got some pretty nice bright LEDs. It's got 2 blues in the front, 2 greens on the side, and 2 reds in the back. And this is mainly because in high rates, this thing has a crazy fast pirouetting yaw. It just spins. It's very uncontrollable. It just kind of all spins out at once. So I think the lights are cool. They did that because it just looks like a solid ring of colors, like a UFO going around. So that's really for show. It does look cool, but I think it's not really worth it. I'd much rather have a usable yaw on high rates so I can actually fly this, because low rates is quite low. And I wouldn't really recommend flying this one outside. I didn't have troubles flying it with a range of about 20 feet. I didn't go any farther than that. but it definitely can't fight the wind very well, and it sort of has a wind bug a little bit. The pitch levels out, so being at high rates really helps with that. But that also might be because I have severe vibrations from some of my bent motor shafts, but it still seems to fly okay, but it's definitely not in mint condition, I would say, because it's so easily be damaged. The battery, I believe in there is either a 150 or a 180 milliamp hour battery. It doesn't really say, or I can't remember either one, but it takes about 35 minutes to charge off the stock charger. And surprisingly, my flight times, I've been getting 5, maybe 5.5 minutes. So that's pretty good for a nano hex, considering these were 4 to 5 minutes. And you know, tiny props, it's just not meant to fly long, it's just not possible. But, you know, even with a hex, it's even less efficient in a size like this, but that was pretty surprising to me. Now, one thing I want to draw upon companies is they made the world's smallest quad here, now they have the hex. Now let's make an octocopter. I want to see a nano octocopter. That would be so cool, and I would definitely buy that right away. So on your transmitter here, you have your trim buttons. They're kind of these directional pads. So you have pitch here, roll here, then you also have your yaw. And on the up of throttle trim, that enables headless mode. I've never really used it. It's worthless, you know, unless you have a GPS quad. It's just not really worth anything, but if you want to try it out, that's where it is. I don't recommend using that. The sticks actually feel pretty decent. They have nice long thumb pads, as you can see there. So they allow for thumbing and pinching, and they have good tension and pretty good gimbals for something this cheap. I believe it's about like $20. I think I got mine either from Banggood or Gearbest. I can't remember where I bought it. And then on your shoulder buttons here, you have, oh, this one's getting stuck all of a sudden. Maybe it's because I hit the case when I was doing that. But up here on your right shoulder button, you have flips. So you click that and then do a give an input, and it'll do a flip in that direction. And they're pretty decent flips. And over here you have your rates, just low and high on that stick. And to recalibrate, you put both sticks down into the outside corners, and the lights will blink to reset everything. So I think that was it for the review part here. Like I said, it's definitely not a beginner's quad, and it's not something you're going to buy to fly around fun and agile, you know, just a leisure flyer. And it is pretty loud with these tiny 6 motors and props. But for a collection purpose and just the wow factor, I think it is very neat. It's just so tiny and it looks awesome, and I think it's really an engineering feat that they were able to achieve a hexacopter of this size and have it still fly as well as it does. So I gotta give them props to that, whichever company really did design this. So that was my review of the Fayee FY805. So now let's go check out some indoor flight footage. Like I said, I'm not gonna fly this one outside. It's just so small. Alright, here we are. We've got the FY805 all bound up to the stock remote. So let's just take off and bring it down to the floor to recalibrate. Both sticks out. See the light still a little flash there. Now, like I said in my review, I bent some motor shafts, so mine's not flying entirely right. It kind of has a big drift forward, even if I trim it out. So, like I said, it's not very durable. I think that since the bent motor shafts with the vibration causing it, because I can't really get it to hover anymore. When I first got it, it flew pretty good. Now it shakes, and you know. So this is flying. There's stick hands off there. It just goes aside. So I'm still in low rates here. So here is low rates yaw. I can try and keep it one spot, sort of. Let's try and do a flip. There we go, I can still flip it. Okay, let's go up again. So, wow, I am having to use full back stick to counteract that. Let's just try a ton of trim. Jeez, it's still doing it. Even in high rates, I can't go backwards at all. Like if I land real quick, center my trims. Oh, maybe it centers it when you recalibrate. There we go. It's just, you can see it. I'm full back stick in high rates. This is ridiculous. So I'll just kind of try and, I can't even show it because it's just leaning so hard. It just totally dips. It's gotta be, these front motors were some of the ones that I damaged. So I can't even really, like, it's so bad I can't show you. It's just going, let's try full back trim. I don't even, it was flying fine, but after a couple crashes, it does just not take them well. Let's try full back trim. Ooh, now we're flying backwards a lot. Alright. Well, at least I can sort of show you. I can get that little yaw going. Ooh, I need, looks like I have too much. Let's try and get rid of some of that. Okay, there we go. It's still really bad in terms of flying because you can't just fly with tons of trim. But at least I can keep it in the air for you here. You can see, whoa, it's twitching like crazy if you can see. I'm not touching the sticks, but, well, I'll just get you to see the LEDs and the spinning that it has, like there. Oh, it's going all over the place. But, yeah, like I said, when I first got this, it flew just fine. But after those crashes, the motors, it just took a toll on it. Just like the 804 or the FX10, the quad, they just can't take any beating. They'll just die, these tiny motors. So I guess let's try and flip. It's just going so crazy on me. Whoa. That was weird. Alright, can we... No, it's just flipping out on me. So, I guess this one is dead. As I said there, it's just sustained crashes to the motors, and the motors are just not doing it anymore. Probably the vibration just getting in there, and it's just going crazy. But it's kind of saddening because this was actually a pretty decent flyer, you know, and it flew pretty good for pretty long, but just now I can't show you because it flies like trash. Can't even get it in the air anymore. It just goes all over the place. But that's not really an accurate representation. When you first get it, it flies just fine, but just be aware that if you're going to crash this, it's not the one for you because, as I showed there, it does not last long. So there we go. That was my review of the FY805. Pretty interesting little hex, and it's a great collection piece, but not durable and won't last you too long because those tiny, tiny motors are not meant for durability. So that was my review. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.